my name is Mark Nowakowski, and I'm the composer of tuum Praesidium, this evening being premiered by Three Notched Road. I knew a few of the members of Three Notched Road from a number of years back, and some I've worked with more recently. And the idea came about at some point with some other work I had been doing with other Baroque ensembles, that it was time perhaps to write a new piece for Three Notched Road, their first new piece. The text I ended up picking was the tuum Praesidium, which is perhaps the most ancient Marian hymn available. We know it's the most ancient because it was found on an ancient sheet of papyrus, confirming it at least back to the 3rd century, and liturgically it could be older. So this text, the tuum Praesidium, is a prayer to the Virgin Mary for help, for guidance and assistance, and oftentimes in Eastern liturgies it is matched up with something called the praesidium, which is the Holy God, Holy Mighty One, Holy Immortal One, have mercy on us prayer. And so I decided, in order to help with the form of the piece and also I think the spiritual meaning of it, to keep that pairing of it as well. So the tuum is in Latin, the praesidium is sung in Greek, and all together we're mixing this with ancient instruments, a little new perhaps by comparison, Baroque of course being much sooner than ancient Eastern rituals. And in the end I hope it creates a satisfying whole. I think the inspiration for the piece, it's coming from many places. The first thing is that I think when you're setting a spiritual text, a holy text, you have to be faithful to the text and let the text guide you. You come to the text meditatively, you come to the text in prayer, and it's kind of like when you're composing a piece of music, you're hoping for at least that to come across that one good idea, and you can spin this out into whatever it needs to be. Well, I think the text asks for certain things and perhaps not for others. And I was also reading a lot and experiencing the Eastern Byzantine Catholic liturgy, Orthodoxy, and in the liturgical history between East and West. And while so much of the ensemble, the Baroque ensemble, is a Western ensemble, there are Eastern elements to it. So I tried basically to push the ensemble a little bit east and to have more extended sections, more drones, more concerns with the resonance and the sense of stillness a lot of these instruments can create. In terms of other types of music I've composed, lately a lot of string music. I've written a lot of string quartets or groups involving the string quartet. We're putting out a new CD of string quartet music very soon. Choral music, various types of chamber configurations, electronic music, pieces for chamber orchestra, chamber choir, some solo works as well. So there's a number of things I've done which I think brought us naturally to this point. And Three Notched Road, I think, hearing a few of these pieces, thought that maybe I can help bridge the gap for their ensemble to something new in a way that hopefully people will enjoy. a lot of music from the medieval era, Renaissance era, Baroque era. It's old, it's very old, but so much of it is being re-performed, rediscovered, and for many of us it's a new experience. I'm quite sure that most of the pieces in tonight's concert were completely new. It was an experience of new music for people, and this music was written at a time when music was not a museum piece, but it was always constantly new. So I hope that the audience took away from this concert the idea that a living person can write for the ensemble as much as they can perform in the ensemble and bring something new, but hopefully that is contiguous to the tradition into this group. I learned many things from this experience. You're not trained as a composer to write for ancient instruments. You know how to write for a violin, for a cello, for a clarinet. A gamba is an entirely different story. A theorbo, what do you do with that? And so as you're composing, sometimes you're writing emails back and forth, you're on the phone, you're making educated guesses. We were fixing and adjusting things up until the day of the performance, just to make sure that exactly the sound I had in my head was possible for the ensemble to accomplish. So it's every time you write for ancient instruments, at least for the time being, it's always a new experience. So. It's very frightening at first. The ensemble gets it. They don't quite know what to make of it. And you sit through rehearsals, and over time you see, you're sort of vindicated. You see that your ideas do indeed work. And you can only hope that the audience is able to come sort of on this journey with you.